This video contains gratuitous use of profanity and uncomfortable pauses to compensate for lack of professionalism and original thought. Viewer discretion advised.
Live from 1428 Elm Street. We are the Nerdy Manroom Show with your host, Hassel and Monster. Monster, 1 year, baby. 1 year anniversary.
It has been. It doesn't seem like it, but yeah, we are here. We have made it this far.
And when you go 1 year, you got to break the sequence out. That's just got to happen.
Well, I will let you do that. I've been home 4 days in like the last 5 weeks, and I'm still not home even though I'm back in town. I have to go house sit. So yeah. So out of the last, by the time I go back on my next trip, because I leave next week, by the time I get done with that, it'll be 8 weeks, and I've been home 4 days. So I have no sequins with me. I just have my Nerdy Manroom Show shirt.
Well, you know what? I felt like not only was I going Nerdy Manroom Show myself, I got the sequence, classic Hassel. We got it going on, baby. And we have a special interview this week.
On
top of a shit ton of shout outs.
Yeah, but before we get to that, let's thank our sponsor for helping us make it to 1 year, The Zone Collectibles. You can find them at their store located at 305 Main Street, Tifton, Georgia, on the internet at thezonecollectibles@gmail.com, and on Facebook at The Zone Collectibles. Visit them for all your knitting needs, from comics to Legos, trading cards, toys, games, and more. Help them support the local artist community through their cause of bringing unity through community. Fandoms unite. And thank you to all the fans out there and for all of our friends for tuning in to our 1 year anniversary episode. We're going to celebrate, like Hassel said, with some new friends and some old friends today. But before we get to that, why don't we take care of Geek Week? Because mine's pretty short because I've been on the road mostly. But let's run through some of that, then we'll get straight into it.
All right.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll let you kick it off.
All right. For me, it's been really kind of slow because I have been on the road so much. I have picked up just a few new toys that actually came in while I was gone. One big one that I'm waiting on pretty soon, but yeah. Had some G.I. Joe classified figures come out. I got Sergeant Stalker, who came in, which was listed for like May of next year, so I was excited when I got him because I was looking forward to that one. And then my G.I. Joe classified Kamakura came in. That's the first one they've done with the windowless packaging, and I will say that where we talked about the windowless packaging for Marvel Legends, and it's just a picture of the figure on the front of it, and I think Power Rangers is doing the same now. I'm not as big a fan of that, but like the G.I. Joe was just actually artwork on the box, and I can deal with that because even though I can't see the figure in the box, I'm not just looking at a picture of the figure on the box. I'm getting to see actual artwork. They also changed the box now, so they have like a hanger in the back of it, so you can actually hang them on the wall now if you want to. Which is good because this is as soon as Kamakura arrived, I was out of shelf space.
Because I will say, like you're talking about with the artwork on the box, because the vehicles used to come with really cool artwork on the front.
Yeah.
So it kind of harkens back to that. So I can get behind that. It's the shorter package, but the longer stand for the dog ear to put on the wall. Yeah. I'm not a big on that right there.
See, I like that though because I couldn't hang G.I. Joe before because the hanger was in the middle of the box and there's just no peg that's going to be that long or no thumbtack, right? But
it's like the Ultimate WWE figures. It's the same way. It folds over, but when you stand it up, it's like in the middle, so it goes back like that. There's no good way to put it on the wall.
And it rips it out of the box most of the time, but what I did like about how these were done now, though, I actually like that because I'm running out of shelf space, but I got plenty more wall space, so I can just take it to the wall versus shelving.
Okay. I keep my Joes together myself, so I'm a little torn at the moment.
I will probably move a shelf with the others on it closer to wherever I'm going to hang them, so they're still close by. But I kind of, like I said, I just need the shelf space at this point for other stuff, and I need to be able to hang them. But Besides that, the only other things I did have come in was my remaining Ninja Power Rangers from the Power Rangers Lightning Connection. I've got I needed the second pink one and one more red one to put into my shelf space with the open ones. And then speaking of them, before I jump forward, did you see the Cobra Kai crossovers they're doing?
I did actually. Those don't look bad. They look a lot better than the Cobra Kai Ninja Turtle crossover. But I mean, they basically robbed the Lightning figure body. They just put a different. They basically got a Daniel LaRusso fan sculpt.
Yeah, they did a different head sculpt, and then they changed the symbol on the chest.
That's one thing.
Yeah, they changed the symbol on the chest because they're different character or different animals for them. And they actually went through. I didn't notice this at first.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was a crane, and his daughter Samantha, who's the pink one, is a mantis. But what I did notice too, though, that they actually, because somebody did a side-by-side comparison, even though it's the same body, they went through and repainted parts of the body, like the diamonds on the White Ranger are black diamonds on his gloves and his boots. But on the Daniel figure, when they reused that body, they actually repainted those to be white with gold trim instead of black.
You know, I hadn't noticed that, but you know what?
I didn't either until someone put it side by side on a Instagram post, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
They make Daniel look a little older than I thought he should have. He's almost white-headed on there.
I think it's just a bad paint job on the head.
Well, maybe so. And I know what's going to happen. I'm not going to buy this damn figure. And then when the Johnny comes out, I'm going to want the fucking Johnny. And then I'm going to be like, why the fuck didn't I get Daniel? So I'm going to have the set.
Yeah, because they said they're going to do multiple waves of them.
Oh, there's no way they do Cobra Kai and don't do Johnny. Johnny's like
they've already said they've already said they're going to do a full team worth of them. So you're going to see more waves of them coming out. I just don't know when. I was hoping they'd show more today because they did have their Hasbro Pulse 1027 live stream because their address is 1027 is the street number of their home office. Every year now they started doing a live stream during that time. And they had it today, but the Power Ranger stuff they showed today was a Silver Ranger from in space with a new with his motorcycle and a deluxe.
They look pretty good. I saw a picture of that. They look pretty good.
They do really. And they've gone to the new pinless body styles on those, and those are pretty good. I will say they went to the box packaging where they're putting pictures of the figures on there, but unless you get a screenshot of one of those Rangers or somebody doing artwork, it's kind of hard to do anything else. I mean, and that's the cheapest way they can do it. But yeah, I'll still get them because I'm a completionist for the set, but that's the only reason. And then, go ahead.
Personally, anything that's windowless, unless I plan on opening it, I'm not buying.
Yeah.
And I know what's going to happen. Everybody's going to kind of feel this way, and they're eventually going to go back to regular windowed figures because the collector market is just raising hell. So, and I got a feeling what's going to happen is we're going to open all these fucking figures, and then they're going to the ones that aren't open are going to become so fucking rare and expensive later, and we're going to regret the shit out of it.
Yeah,
I always like figures of the '80s that everybody opened because no one assumed they would be worth anything later.
Yeah. That's probably what's going to happen.
Well, that's a prediction.
Well,
we'll dust this off in a few years to see.
I will say that it has curbed my spending on new ones. Like other than Power Rangers and G.I. Joe, where I'm a completionist for them, I'm not buying hardly any Marvel Legends unless I'm opening. I'm not buying any to keep boxed anymore.
I'm not doing the MOC and a loose anymore.
No,
I'll cancel the fuck out of them. I'll either have one or.
All of mine will be, at least from Marvel, will be loose at this point because I don't care about them in that packaging unless it's a box set. But like if it's like Banshee or something, and I need Banshee so bad. But other than that, I'm like, eh.
Well, I mean, if you go look at, sadly, now that we don't have Toy Fair, the only way to really gauge figure values is to go through eBay, which is very hit and miss because of the gouging. But if you go on there, like I've been on the fence about opening up Null and Venom 2-pack, but like literally, no matter every post I see on there loose, like you can buy the 2-pack together for the price that it come at basically. But if you see the 2 figures loose on there everywhere, and they're almost as much as the 2-pack is by themselves loose, every one of them.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking there right now is market wise, and I know the market changes a lot. It's looking as if the 2-packs are going to hold their value, as far as once you start opening them, that it's almost as valuable separately as they are together.
Yeah. But moving ahead from that, for the rest of my Geek Week, I have been out of town a lot, so I did take some trade paperbacks. However, I only made it through one of them so far, so I won't talk about the others yet until I finish them. But I did finish one that is so bad that it's actually good, and it is called Brute Force. It is from the
Oh,
late
I know what
1980s. It's like from 87 or 88, and it's around that time they were trying to come up with all the environmental toys and animated shows, and it is animals and machine outfits trying to fight for environmental rights and stuff. And it was supposed to be a Kickstart for a toy line and a cartoon. But unlike all the other stuff that Marvel did at the time, like G.I. Joe and Transformers, this one didn't go anywhere because they tried to market it to adults, but it was really for kids, and it didn't sell well enough to do anything. But I remember having it as a kid, so I was like, oh, I saw that, and it was like $12 for the trade. I was like, I'm grabbing that just for the heck of it. It was a terrible, terrible read, but it was so bad it was like nostalgic good.
I remember you sending me and my Big Rob a picture of that, and I was like, "Ooh, that just looks bad.
Yeah,
That looks terrible."
yeah. Well, it wasn't great, but I enjoyed it. Besides that, I did watch a few TV shows, catch up on a couple of things. I finished She-Hulk, which I thought was really good. I think the ending was what I would have expected from a She-Hulk comic back in the day, so I wasn't too turned off by it, but like a lot of people were. The Daredevil in it, I thought was a great touch, but I was a little disappointed in seeing Scar, and I know that you didn't care for the way he looked, and I, I'm not going to dwell on it too long, but yeah, that was the biggest turn off to the ending to me.
What the fuck was up with his hair?
I don't know.
I mean, in the comics, this rascal looks like Conan, Green Conan with tattoos. It's like if
Yeah,
you took Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan and Jason Momoa and you made them have a birth child, you had this. And this bitch comes in there looking like Kane after he unmasked for the first time. Green. Green Kane. I, ooh. Marvel, I'm not forgiving you for this one.
yeah, that was pretty bad, but it was tolerable, I guess, because the rest of the show was well enough, and he was only in it so short. I was like, I could care less. Um, Beyond that, though, I watched Tales of the Jedi yesterday as it came out. Um, really short episodes. I think they were like the maximum one was like 16 minutes or something, but they were okay. They weren't great. I mean, it was in the Clone War style, had the voices and stuff, but it was just they were so slow, a lot of them, until you got to like the last two or three, and then it picked up and got really good. But it was hard to get through the first few, to be honest. But after that, I enjoyed them at the end of
I'm
it.
a little worried, and I hadn't got to these yet, so I'm a little worried. If you tell, I'll wait for Big Rob. If he tells me they're slow too, I probably know it's best I pass.
It was one of those where it was like watching a really long episode of a Clone Wars, and it was very slow to get to where it was going. But once it built, it was like, okay, this is pretty decent to end on. Besides that, the only other things I've really watched are Andor and Stargirl, at least on TV. Andor is not doing it for me at all.
You know what? I ran into a friend of ours, Alex, the other day. He's a huge Star Wars fan. And he was watching this with his son, and even he said he looked at me and says, "How's what he said?" I looked at the boy and told him that we was on episode 3. I think he said, "If it don't get good in this episode, I'm done." And he is a huge Star Wars fan, so I was like, "Ooh." I said, "Yeah, I fell asleep like halfway through the first one, never went back."
It has moments, but it's only moments. But I see people raving about it because it's something so different from Star Wars because it's showing you something besides just the Jedi or just the soldiers and stuff. I'm like, I can't get into it though.
But I don't care for that. They're the side story in the saga. I mean, there are enough of the meat and potatoes in between the steak of the Jedi Sith. I don't want just the meat and potatoes
Yeah.
or the potatoes there. I want, you know what I'm saying? I need a good balance. If I only want that and no Jedi, I'll watch the Mandalorian.
Yeah. Well, besides that, I did make a trip to the theater on one of those 4 days that I was actually home, and the kid and I went and watched Black Adam. And I gotta say, it was actually it's getting pretty bashed pretty hard by critics, but I would say it was pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't the best thing I've seen. I'd give it a solid 7. Um,
Wow.
I think there's some really good stuff in it, but there's a few moments where they try to make things funny or fit The Rock's sense of humor and his delivery of his humor. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that doesn't fit the character of Black Adam, so it kind of takes you out of it for a minute.
Yeah,
But
Teth Adam is not a very humorous
no,
character.
and some of the stuff that was humorous fit, like I don't want to create any spoilers, but there's one scene where Dr. Fate gives him some sarcasm, and he's like, "Yes, that's how it was," and he's like, "You don't understand sarcasm, do you?" And then later on, he gives a sarcastic line. He said, "And that is sarcasm, correct?" So that, I mean, stuff like that was funny, but some of the other
Yeah.
scenes where it's like, okay, this is just going a little bit too far into leaning into being a funny character that's not. It's kind of that same syndrome they've had with Thor in the last couple movies. Like, there's times where it's like, if you don't fit in this world, it makes sense for that to be funny, but
Don't
you
force
don't
it.
have to force it.
Yeah.
I will say the
Did you see
best
where James Gunn is now the new lead? Him and I forget the other cat's
Peter
name. They're
Safran.
not. Yeah, they're the new heads of the DCU expanded universe,
Yeah,
and that Black Adam's their launching point.
I worry about that though because James Gunn, everything he does has the same sense of humor of every Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Even his Suicide Squad, his Peacemaker, all that has the same huge amount of humor. And I'm like, that's okay for some characters. Like the Peacemaker was great, but I don't need that kind of humor in my Superman and Batman movies.
It worked in Suicide Squad because they kind of made it the DC Guardians,
Yes,
and,
and it
and
worked in
I kind of
Guardians.
enjoyed that. However, I don't want my Superman that way. I will say that, look, people, we're not trying to give you spoilers, but there's no way around it. Everybody knows Henry Cavill's back. And I love the fact that he has the old Christopher Reeve's music.
Yeah,
So that they're leaning that way with him, nostalgia, I'm good with that. I know it has been announced that Ben Affleck will remain as Batman. They're not changing Batman and go on the route of the glitter power, which I'm happy. Because I'm one of the few people that still have not seen the Batman.
yeah, you didn't miss much.
Yeah, that's the general consensus amongst real comic fans, and yeah, I'm taking a shot at you guys right here. Shots fired, pew pew. Real comic fans are not a fan of it. The modern day comic fan is. Casey.
Well, and I'll give one last note, then we can move on to your Geek Week. But I will say in Black Adam, the best character in the entire movie, the scene stealer, even from The Rock himself as Black Adam, was Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate was awesome. And I will tell you, I complained about that helmet because of the no eyes thing.
Yeah.
That comes into play in the movie though,
Okay then.
and it makes sense after that. And once
Yeah,
you see
I
it,
was the only thing that kind of like the rest of his outfit looked really great, and it was like one side's completely smooth, and you got almost an eye hole on the other side's like, what the fuck?
when you watch it, there's a scene late in the movie, like in the third act, at the big battle and stuff, and you see why the eye holes weren't there the whole time. And then because and I will spoil this, they do appear, but it's for a very specific reason. And then you
Okay.
see why they didn't have it the entire time. It's like, oh, now it made sense, and I actually
See,
really
I'm
like
cool
that.
with stuff like that. You know, you can take some creative liberties as long as they play into the story.
Yes. Yeah.
It's interesting to see where they'll go. Have you read that there's a possibility Ezra Miller may remain the Flash?
I haven't seen that one. Everything I've seen says he is out as the Flash. I have seen where uh, somebody from, I can't remember who it was now, but a director said that if they don't produce a Dr. Fate movie with Pierce Brosnan as Kent Nelson prior, set prequel to Black Adam, then they have missed the boat on anything they could have done that would have made them money.
Yeah, and just in the trailers alone, you can tell that he's money in that role,
Oh yeah.
and he's a great actor, anyways. I mean, James Bond, and I loved him in Penny Dreadful and a few other things. He's just great.
Yeah, man, and I'll say the rest of them were good. I mean, the guy playing Hawkman did a good job. Aldous Hodge, but I mean, Dr. Fate stole the scenes when he was in them.
So
But
you
with
make me
that,
want to watch it even more. You make me want to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I may actually go to the theater. I
you're
may
gonna have
not
to break down and
bootleg
go.
this. Well, I'm going to watch it, and I may not bootleg it because I like The Rock. So we'll see.
But with that, that's it for my geek week. So why don't we run through yours, sir?
Whew. I'm going to start mine off with a steaming pile of shit monster. For a year, I have been super excited, stoked even, for Halloween Ends. The trailers looked amazing. They lead you one way. And people, I'm just going to tell you, I'm not finna non-spoiler this shit. If you haven't seen it, you better fast forward about 5 minutes. David Goyer, you are a cocksucker. I'm just going to say this right here. He took everything that they built with 2018 and Halloween Kills. That made Michael an unstoppable killing machine. And I love the line in Kills where, Laurie makes the comment that the more he kills, the more he transcends. So, it makes sense then how he's able to get the fuck up from being shot 30 fucking times, beat down by 20 damn people on the street, and he gets up and aces all these motherfuckers. And he goes back and he vanishes. Well, fast forward 2 years, Halloween Ends. The first, I don't know, 10 minutes, he's not even in the fucking movie. Probably a little more than that. There's a little fucking nerd, Corey Cunningham. He's getting beat up by them high school kids. Matter of fact, it starts out being his story. It shows like the night that Michael was doing all this stuff. He babysits some little kid, and the kid bullies him. A kid bullies a damn grown man, and the kid accidentally gets killed, and he gets blamed for it. So he carries this burden. Poor bastard. He's working, and they have the foreshadowing. He's in the jumpsuit at the fucking, record yard he's working. And he's a little bitty shit. I mean, he may be as tall as you, monster. Maybe. He's no Michael Myers. But anyways, he gets beat up by these fucking nerds a couple of times, these high school kid nerds. Somehow or another, he hooks up with fucking Laurie Strode's granddaughter. That's where they start playing first into it. He gets thrown off a bridge and thrown down to the sewer. A homeless man almost beats his ass. An old homeless man. He accidentally stabs him, kills him. Well, then he goes up into this fucking sewer. Michael Myers in there. Michael grabs him, trying to choke the shit out of him, kill him. But he looks in his eyes. He looks in his eyes now. And it's like a reflection of his soul. You get this little bullshit like Mike sees his story. I knew I was in trouble right there. I knew at that point. I looked at my fiance and I said, I'm going to fuck this up. I knew. And even she knew. He lets him out of there. Well, one of the homeless people want to know why Michael let him out of there. He kills that motherfucker. Goes back and he starts, he's a badass all of a sudden. Next thing you know, he lures this guy to Michael Myers. And he tells Michael, show me how to do it. What do you mean how to do it? Bitch, you done killed one motherfucker. And then Michael pulls his knife out and stabs the guy. And I have a bit of hope right here. Because like when Michael stabbed him the first time, it's like you see him charge up. I'm like, okay, he's transcending. He's been down there, been dormant for a couple of years. He hadn't, he ain't had no juice to him. He killed this guy, and now he's juicing back up. So I'm getting excited. Here, they finna do it. And I seen a meme that was the best meme ever. And it shows him where he's holding it, like, show me how to do it. And Michael's standing with a knife, like, bitch, it's a knife. What do you mean how to do it? Anyways, they move forward. They pretty much make Michael a bitch. Eventually, Corey Cunningham, and I can't think of nothing but Happy Days every time I hear that, beats him up and takes his mask away from him, and he starts going to kill people. Well, eventually, Laurie and Corey fight, And when he realizes she's not going to let him run off with his granddaughter, her granddaughter, who he's done impregnated apparently, which is where everybody's out. He stabs him own self, kills himself. Then Michael shows up, gets his mask back, and this 80-year-old woman pushes a fridge over on Michael, cuts his wrist, cuts his throat. He bleeds out, and then they throw him in a fucking meat grinder. The end. I couldn't sleep for 2 hours that night. I was upset. And I got drunk. I was upset. And my fiance has given me shit about this movie ever since. Done my boy wrong. I'm not happy about it. That's what started my Geek Week. Moved on to some cool shit. I did an unboxing of Slash. Super 7, I'll give you props on this figure. It's a great figure. It's so much bigger than the other turtles, though I will say. I don't have any of the actual regular Super 7 turtles, but I do have Metalhead. And I kind of done a side-by-side and check our Instagram out. Done an unboxing there. And he's a good bit bigger. Good bit bigger. But there's so much great nostalgia in there. Like, I just got the figure and was like looking at it, was like a lot of childhood memories there. That's really good figure. They did a great job on it. It almost makes me want to go back and buy the other turtles, honestly. Like, that's close to it. I did have a Big Bad Toy Store haul, and it's a big one. Big one monster. I got Retro War Machine and Apocalypse retro cards. They look amazing. I haven't put them on the wall yet, but I'm kind of running out of the wall. I got the Black Series, Grand Moff Talking, Cobb Vath, Obi-Wan Vader. I got Emperor Palpatine. I got Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett.
That's a
And
lot of
the
Boba Fett.
last, yeah, it was. So it was almost primarily a Black Series box, but then I did get the 40th anniversary He-Man, and it looks amazing. It's really good. Did you get any of that? Did you get that?
I don't think so. I don't remember getting
It's
it.
a good figure. If you didn't get it, you need to get it. Done a little reading for once, and I will say I read The Return of Vengeance. It's actually about a year old. I didn't realize it come out during the I think the King in Black around that time, because the one I bought was a variant of that right here. But they brought Vengeance back, Michael Baldino, the original Vengeance. It has a great story because it's actually written by Mark Teixeira, who done a lot of the Ghost Rider from the 90s.
I remember that one now that you say it, 'cause I've had it, but it's been a long while.
Well, I didn't. Somehow I missed the book. Like I get all the Ghost Rider stuff, but somehow or another I missed this book. I didn't realize it come out as a one shot, and I was just checking some page one day, and I seen it on there. I was like, oh shit! So I hit Kevin at the Zone Collectibles up, our great sponsor, and he pulled it for me. And I read it about 2 days ago. It's really good story though. Like I said, it was cool to read Mark's work again because I loved his work on the Ghost Rider in the '90s, and it had that vibe and feel to it. It wasn't forced. There wasn't these forced Johnny Blaze stories like we've been getting.
Yeah.
So I was a big fan of that right there. And the other thing is there is a new toy book out. Toy Collectibles.
Is that any good? I did not buy it. I wasn't sure how it was going to be.
I went in for the subscription of it because I miss Toy Fair, and I will say if you were a fan of Toy Fair, well, it's not as good as Toy Fair. It is a really good book. So it's a little thin, and it's bi-monthly. But I mean, it was like $50 for the year. It may have been a little less. I'm not sure, but it was pretty good. And this one right here actually had the gargoyles from NECA. They had the story on them and where they broke, how they did Cold Stone, and it was like it's actually really good. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Plus, they go back and do vintage stuff. Like they was several articles in there on vintage toys and vintage collectibles and stuff like that. And then apparently some of these cats work with Toy Fair and they work for Wizard and various other, publications and stuff like that. So it's definitely worth the money. If you didn't subscribe to it, if you find it on a shelf somewhere, I mean, it's worth the money. Um, you'll be happy with it.
I
And
thought about it. I'm so infrequently home right now. I'm like, do I want to wait for one more? Because I'm behind on comics right now just because I've been gone so much lately. So,
well, I'm very, very behind on comics. That's why, like I said, obviously that, you know, Vengeance is a year old, but I just got it. But I'm trying to catch up on my. I'm up to date on Ghost Rider. I'm trying to get up to date on Spider Man. That's my next up to dater, and I'll be back good. But to round out my geek week, I did the Halloween Horror Nights, man. The lovely. We went to Orlando last week. Spent a couple days down there, and I will say that I don't give a damn if you go during the week or the weekend. Buy the express pack. I don't give a shit what it costs. Buy it because we went during the weekend. We thought we were going on Wednesday night. We'd beat the crowd.
no, not for stuff like that.
No, dude, it was like a ridiculous amount of people there, anyways. Like, even the next day, like in various places in Orlando, it was like just packed. I don't know what was going on, but we went to Universal. Well, we had a good time. We had a really great time, but in the span of about 8.5 hours, we were only able to do 3 haunted houses and 1 ride. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we spent a lot of time on lines, but the Myers house, it was fun. It had a lot of really cool throwbacks to the '78 movie. There was some cool stuff. There's like one part where you go through and it's the closet. It's a little longer than it should be, because it's a corridor. But, you got Lori in the corner there and she's, the animatronic of her is doing up like this with the clothes hanger. And then Michael starts busting out the side and it's pretty cool. The coolest house of all, though, the Blumhouse. Well, let me rephrase. The Blumhouse house was the letdown. They did Freaky, which is a Netflix movie with what's the guy from Wedding Crashers? Not Owens, but the other guy, the tall one. Shit, what's his name?
So I can't think of it right now. This is what happens when we record too late.
Yeah,
my memory's gone at this point of the day.
Freaky is basically like a horror version of Freaky Friday, or the
Yeah,
hot chick or whatever it
yeah.
was.
No,
Where
I know what you're talking about. Is that Vince
the,
Vaughn?
it's fine, yeah. So it's a horror movie. Vince Vaughn. For
Yeah,
whatever
I've
reason,
seen it.
they chose that and Black Phone as the Blumhouse house. Black Phone was actually pretty cool.
I've heard a lot of
Uh,
people beef it up. I've watched Freaky. It was not that good. It had a
Freaky
few
was a fun
comedic.
little watch. Man, me and my
It had a few
stepdaughter watched
comedic
it.
moments.
Yeah, we enjoyed it as far as just a comedic horror. But that was the thing about the horror, the house. It was like the parts you walk through at the very beginning has actual killer. So you get a scare here or there. But the later half of it is like the little teenage girl. And I was like, bitch, you don't scare her down. But I push your ass down. So that part was a letdown. The best house by far, hands down. There was a general consensus amongst a lot of the fans we talked to there was the Monsters Collide. It was old Universal Monsters.
Yeah.
That house was fucking great. It had Dracula, Wolfman, and the Mummy, and like they went to the nines throughout. Like you start out walking through the ruins of Egypt and stuff like that, and there's like crumbling stuff in pyramids and stuff. It's really cool, and like they done a great job of like having stuff come out of various places that works mirrors. Like you'd be looking here, you see something, and it come out this way. They done a real great job of that, right? We had a really good time though. So that was pretty much my old geek week there. It was a little more full than usual, but we had a good time.
Oh, good. With that, we'll jump straight over. Just in interest of time, we had as we said, we're celebrating our 1 year anniversary here, and we wanted to do that with several friends. So For the very first one, we're going to have a new friend on here, Miss Mandy Lynn, a.k.a. Kushiemama. She gave us a nice interview earlier that we pre-recorded, and we're going to pop that in here. And then, so check that out, and then we'll be back shortly afterwards.
So we're coming to you live. We have a special guest this week with Miss Kushiemama herself, the media influencer, so extraordinaire. She has her hobbit with her, and so how are you doing?
Did you just call me a hobbit? I am an Ewok.
You are.
I am an Ewok. Hobbit is somebody else.
They have furry feet either way.
See, she won't even talk now because you embarrassed her so bad with that intro.
No, we're good. Fucking Frodo, sorry. Anywho.
Kick it off. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
About me? Oh gosh, nothing to really tell. I'm just a human being like everybody else out there. I just like to collect toys, which apparently a lot of girls aren't really into, from what I hear. But I think people are. We just aren't showing you the toys because we don't want you people to be jealous of what we get, right? So, that's just me. Obviously, I am on Instagram now. I wasn't previously to COVID because I really didn't care for social media too much. Obviously, COVID changed that for a lot of people in the world. A lot of people who weren't social media users are now very active on it, myself included. So essentially, I collect for my son because when he turns 18, he is going to get everything that I have and let him either run with it, sell it, use it for college, use it for something. Essentially, he will be responsible enough to make the decisions as to what he will do with it. Hopefully, fingers are crossed, knock on wood, all that shit in between. But for now, it's just me having fun collecting. We're all collecting the same things that we all love here. And of course, sharing it with other people who also love to collect toys. And of course, I like to put my beautiful face out there, we'll call it, with all my toys every day. Voguing. That's what we'll call it. So here I am just sharing with everybody. I've gained a following because I do branch out in various aspects along the way in the community, whether it's with toy photographers, other resellers or sellers. I branch out and help advertise for some people now. So I'm pretty out there now, apparently, out here in Canada. I've been called a celebrity numerous times, but I don't think that at all. So to everybody saying that, forget your
celebrity
shit.
Extraordinaire.
Right.
Canadian Kardashian.
Yeah, no. Oh, fuck no.
I will go ahead and give you a little advice, though. You will have giver's remorse. I did the same thing when my daughter graduated because, I was trying to get up money to send her off to a nice trip, and everything before she went off to college. And so I sold a large portion of my wrestling collection, figure-wise, because Monster can tell you I had a ridiculous collection at one time. And I got rid of a lot of vintage stuff and things of this nature. And you will have giver's remorse no matter how much you love this child.
That's for sure. I'm regretting it now because I look at the credit card bills every month and I'm like, well, damn, man. I can't wait till college actually starts and that real bill comes in. So forget that. But I have some remorse as it is. But luckily for me, I have created him his own collection. So, I mean, I have my own things. He has his own things. I just know my things are slightly.
That's why you can kind of be like, these are mommy's.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, or you get two doubles, man. Doubles are where it's at. Right? So,
no.
Works too.
See, at least you can do doubles. I have to do triples because I have to have boxed, open, and then my child has to have one.
No, I can't do so today I spent a lot of time reboxing a lot of my toys. So Funko Pops, I think I did 300 today was the list ended at reboxing. Wow. So I think at this point, I'm either going to buy stuff to keep in the box or just open it. Like there is no in between at this point. Right. I can't do triples. I don't know how people do that. I'm
in the middle of the rabbit hole because right now I'm still doing MOC and then a loose on sorting things. But with Hasbro shifting into this windowless packaging, I just can't bring myself to do both. any longer. It's like I'm either opening this fucker or I'm not. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I bought that Iron Spider, man, and the windowless packaging, and I was so distraught when it got home. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna give this other one away.
Yeah,
See, I
the
don't
first
care.
one I got was the Silk and Doc Ock, and I was just like beside myself. I was like, it's just a fucking picture of the figure on the front. What the fuck? I
See,
was not happy.
I don't care about that stuff. I don't care because I'm ripping the box open anyway. See, I don't care if I could see it or not, right? Like, ultimately, for me, it's played with. My toys are legitimately played with, right? It's right. So I don't. If I can't see it, I can't see it. It's still Spider-Man in that box, right? But to each their own, right? So, yeah, no, I appreciate that Iron Spider. It actually went to great use for some photography at the park this week. So, yeah, I have no problem whatsoever. So you guys are crazy, but who am I to say I'm also like a Marvel Legend freak over here with windows. You can see them, right? But yeah.
So besides the collecting, how did you get into the photography side of it?
I actually used to professionally like work for schools and stuff. So I used to do the school photography photos for class pictures.
Wow.
Yeah, a company here in Canada. I have
That's quite the upgrade from the Owen Mill guy we had.
Yeah, right. And I hated it though. I hated it. So essentially, we're just going in there and saying like, do this, and the kids hated it. We all hated picture day. I hated it. I don't even think I went to most of them. Like, well, my mom's not buying the pictures anyways. Right? Forget it. But yeah, so again, it was just a COVID thing. Like I literally took a bottle of fake blood and dumped it all over my toys and started taking pictures of them. And I was like, hey, this is actually pretty fun. Like it's been hours concocting this one scene, right? So it was pretty fun. It was my Cobra Die Dojo one. I don't know if you guys ever caught that. It was like all the serial killers were killing the kids from Cobra Kai on the tape. Yeah, it's on my Instagram. I'll have to pop that up someday. But yeah, it was pretty fun. So I just started doing that. Of course, my son's really into it. So you'll see him posing toys and trying to take a picture too. So again, one of those things that was an ability for him, right? So we just a bonding thing, right? So that's that. Right? There's no real like long stories behind it. I took some photos before and I take some photos now. Right?
No, we see a lot of your photos. I mean, obviously your Instagram, you've always got them on there, and I'll send you notes sometime. And I'm like, that's nice composition and shadow and light. I mean, it's stuff that I am not capable of doing. So it's impressive to me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I
know.
know.
I did take one semester at Mr. Hudson's photography class in high school. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You didn't show up to half of high school.
Yeah, back when you had that.
I got
film.
A's though.
Yeah. Film and
I know how you got those A's.
I did have a teacher tell me that she would pass me with a B+ if I would just go to sleep every day.
Oh.
I was that kid.
And the rest of his work that passed, I know who did most of it too.
Here, doesn't matter. It's how what does Stewie say? It's not how you get to the rainbow, as long as you do.
Hassel, I know you got a ton of questions because I bug her all the time on Instagram, so I always ask mine already. So
stop! He doesn't stop. No, I'm just kidding. That's why I have Pennywise the clown. He's just always ready to go.
Well, yeah. What happened? I thought we was gonna have some Pennywise action. I mean.
Oh, here. Here you go.
There we go. A little Pennywise love.
Both.
There you go. Does that work? Does that work?
I hated a Pennywise a few years ago, so I'm a big fan of that right there. So, are you more into the legends, the pops? Well, what is it now? Though I mean, you kind of phase. Oh yeah.
He's like, don't do it. Don't do it.
You apparently you didn't see the Instagram reels today. I hate that question.
I fucking hate that question. Actually, it's one of the worst questions ever.
I apologize.
Right? No. It's totally fine. I get asked it. It is one of the top. I get asked every single day, right? So it's that and my favorite tattoo, right? It's the two top questions I always get asked every day, and I shit you not. So. Right now, I'm really big onto the legends because I have a bunch of Build-A-Figures that need to be completed. So obviously, kind of got to finish the set there. I've been picking up the Action Force and the G.I. Joes, which I wasn't really big on G.I. Joes. I had a couple in the collection, but nothing major because I had older stuff, but I obviously 30 years later don't have that stuff because I'm starting all new again. So I'm liking the GI Joe, so I'm really happy to grab the ones I've picked up recently. So those are going to be.
Well, you having some of the Action Force open, do you find the quality pretty much the same as the classifieds? Because I mean, I only got one Action Force, and that was a Slaughter, but I got him autographed, so I can't open him.
No.
So I'm kind of, you know.
No, man, they're amazing. I actually like them way better. So the Action Force are way better in the sense of the mobility. Sorry, like even this one, like it's just, I don't know. I can't see too much on here, so but like it just has way better movement than the GI Joe. So the only thing I dislike is their stands, which I thought were great when I got them because you don't get a lot of stands with your action figures these days. But like they're just kind of weird, right? But they're good. Like I prefer them over, but I think the GI Joe just have we're used to the GI Joe, right? So
it's the name brand record.
Yeah. No, but for sure, I recommend Action Force for sure, man. Like I got sent over the whole series, and like I'm so thankful that they were so kind to think of me to do that. And it is one of my favorite military pieces I've had open in the set. So
see, Monster, that's what we're missing out. We're not getting sent any damn thing. Hard times here and there, but you know. But yeah, I have noticed their accessories look so much better. Like I know a lot of the collectors that are doing the classified line. That's what they're doing is they're buying the Action Force accessories to put with their classified series to kind of spruce them on up a little bit.
Oh, for sure. So
that and the other thing with the GI Joe classifieds is that floating hip joint. Some of them will just not stand because that hip joint fails so badly. I have some that have stood there for months, and then all of a sudden they'll just slowly creep over and fall over, and I got to go fix them.
Well, my display that's behind me is like on a wall there by the door, and like where people come in and out and shit slam the damn door occasionally. The floating hip on the Alley Viper is the worst out of all of them. Barbecue's kind of so, but the Alley Viper, his is just awful. That bastard, he'll fall over face first about once a week.
Dead on arrival.
He is deader than hell most of the time. I have found him in the floor more than once. So are you a completionist when you say you do the Build-A-Figure or whatnot? I mean, do you want to be a completionist for the Build-A-Figure, or do you actually just really want to complete the wave?
It's hit or miss. So some of the Build-A-Figures, I just want the Build-A-Figure. I could care less for the wave, but I need to get to those pieces, and that happens quite often more than not. So I think the last one was Colossus. So I just wanted the Colossus figure. I didn't care for the rest of them to get there, but I needed it. So it's hit or miss. So some of them are specifically for the BAF, but some are just because I like the figures that go along with it, right? So I do have some sets that are some Marvels that aren't even a part of set, right? But I'm like, I just like the figure, so I'm gonna just add it in there, right? So yeah, it's hit or miss in that regard.
Yeah, Colossus was the wave I had to buy the whole wave because I was actually an Age Apocalypse fan. Other than Shadowcat, I was a little with that one, but the rest of the figures were pretty cool, so I bought that. But the rest of the time, I'll cheat and just buy it off eBay completed. It's typically $65. You can find most of them.
Yeah,
that's the cost of what, 3 figures now. So
yeah.
Probably more for her. I mean, Canadian prices are slightly higher.
I know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Price you pay for Bizarro Land.
For America's hat.
For America's hat. America.
But you know, from going up there myself, I find that the prices are pretty comparable, except for GI Joe. GI Joe, even after the exchange rate, is like $10 more.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the taxation they put upon us, American bastards? Like, you know what? If you want to play with these Americans, you're gonna fucking pay.
That's right. That's right. That's no different from us Canadians. Then you guys are charging us like $30 just to ship one toy over to me in America. I'm like, fuck you, America.
Dude, I did ship a toy up to Canada, and it cost more for the shipping than it did the toy.
Right? That's what I'm saying. It's crazy, right? So I was like,
it was $2 more by the time I paid for the shipping than the actual figure.
Right? Yeah, it's insane. It's crazy.
Well, I'm thankful that America hasn't taxed Bret Hart because I would be fucked at this point because he is
I
my favorite Canadian.
Oh, so what you're saying is Mandy is not your favorite Canadian.
I mean, it's Bret Hart. This is the best there is, best there was, best there will be.
agreed. Agreed.
Dang.
Trevor, you're good runner up though. I mean, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Kind of like in line with the Rocket there. So.
So how is it though collecting up there? I mean, I have been up there several times, and I find more available figures up there than I do down here. I mean, down here once they sell and they go on clearance, you don't see them again. I still see them up there, and I see that you get a lot of them before we do as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Do we? I don't know. Like I always see things that I get that everyone else posts, right? So I think it's more just where you're at, right? A lot of the stuff I find I'm getting way later than everybody else, but maybe I'm wrong, right? So, but it's hit or miss here. Like I have a lot of people who I know in the community who are sellers, or they have their own stuff. So they're like, "Hey, I have this," and they'll give me leads, or I just wait. Right? I just wait like every other poor bastard, right? Like I don't pre-order, I don't HasLab, I don't free fund, I don't right? Like I don't do any of that, right? So collecting here, it's like if it's not on the shelf, I'm not getting it. Like, right.
So you are totally in the Wild Hunter.
Yeah, in the Wild Hunter. I mean, I do order online if there's things that I'm absolutely know I'm not gonna find. Right? Like there's one piece. I'm not going to spend countless months trying to find someone. There it is sitting on eBay, but I will spend that countless time to find it first. Right. So I don't know. Collecting's okay here. I mean, I think it's just the same anywhere else. I'd be sad if I lived in like Italy or something where they don't have as much access to things like we do. Right. So, I mean, I have no real complaints about collecting here, except for people just look at me because I'm a girl and they're like, what? And I'm like, that's what I thought. Right.
So
I'm in a
that
very bad part of South Georgia. It's like we have nothing. We have a super Walmart that is very unsuper. So collecting is very, very hard here. I'm at the mercy of Big Bad Toy Store. Monster finds things, hooks me up. Big Rob, they travel around so that they'll see something and catch her. And they know what they'll give it to me. But so if it's not for Big Bad Toy Store, I wouldn't get 90% of what I have now, unfortunately, because we just don't have no variety here. And what sucks is like I'll be following all these pages on Facebook as collector pages. And
Yeah.
you see these guys, they're already getting these Target exclusives. They're like, how the fuck do you already have this? Like, I've had it on pre-order for a year now. And all these people have like the Python Patrol Bat and Viper right now. They're murdering them all over Facebook. Like everybody's got them. Like, oh, I found this today. Oh, I found this today. And I was just in Florida, and we didn't check Target. We were going to, and we didn't. And then I get home, and like literally 2 days after I get home, like on that G.I. Joe classified page, somebody's like, "Who found this in Orlando today?" I'm like, I was just there.
That's my life, right? No, I hear you. Mhm.
But you did open up another question I wanted to ask you though, because a lot of people do look at it as, hey, it's a female who's collecting it, and it seems unusual to them. So how is that like for you, and as just a female in general doing collecting? I mean, do you get a lot of, I don't know, do you get a lot of negative feedback or just weird feedback or?
I mean, I don't even know. Like, see, it's changing a lot now because people realize I don't put up with their shit. So I think people are starting to like sing a different tune in the community too, which is nice because I'm like, get with the program already. I don't really get a lot of hate on. Obviously, as you know from our conversation on the side, like I do have those people who are just fucking retarded. I'm parting my words. Retarded are the words that I'm trying to use, right? But like they
Rain
cause
Man
their
was a retard. I'm just saying.
right. They're retarded, right? Pardon me, but right? That this is who I am. Forgive me. Hey, I'm just speaking from the heart, but no, I'm kidding. But it is all fun and games until someone gets hurt.
Like wreck their car?
Right? Pardon?
Like wrecking their car?
Oh man, I feel
No, I
like some
don't get
shade was just thrown.
yeah, dude, I don't get a lot of hate too much. I mean, not directly, at least, right? Like a lot of people think that I'm buying toys for my kid half the time. Like, oh, fuck no. Oh no.
I love when you do buy in the wild and you get that look and it's like, oh no, this is fucking for me. I mean,
Yeah, right. No. There ain't no lucky kid at home.
I
No,
get that look off the bat. We
right.
know that's for you.
No, a lot of people are good. A lot of the people who are closest to me are all that matter to me anyways. And as long as they're supporting me, whatnot, it doesn't really matter what the rest of them say. Recently things have turned around where it's a lot of more people are on my side and they just want to help and they want to send and they want to reach out and do what they can to assist however they want, whether it's toy collecting or with Noah and his page, or sorry, Doodle with his page, whatever. So yeah, I think it's going okay in comparison to when I first started. Because when I first started, it was like, you just do it. I'm like, you don't know anything about me. Right. And what you see online is what I allow you to see online. Right? So that's
small
basically
glimpse into the window.
that's right. Or a windowless box. How about that?
Ooh, I see what you did there.
Right?
So I see that you have a lot of horror stuff on your page. So are you a slasher or a thriller or a possession? What's your go-to if you're wanting to sit down on a Friday night and a horror is what you're craving?
Oh, I don't know. See, this is another tough one. Even like last night, I'm like, oh, let's watch some horror movies to go to sleep to because why not, right?
Absolutely.
And everything was just shit, like everything. So now it's really garbage now, which really sucks. But I absolutely, I love B-rated horror. Right? I still like Sleepaway Camp is still one of those ones that I'll go and watch because I'm just like,
Ooh,
it's so
watched it not
awful.
long ago, actually.
Right? So awful. It's good. You know, mainstream, obviously, I love the big three: Freddy, Jason, Michael. You kind of all have to. I'm wearing a Michael Myers shirt. I mean, have them tattooed on me.
Well, while we're on that subject, before we delve too far, have you
Yeah.
seen Ends? Well, what's your take? A thumbs up, thumbs down?
For what?
Halloween ends.
Ends.
Halloween ends.
I haven't even seen it.
Wow, really?
I haven't seen it. Don't I don't
Ooh.
watch movies at the theater because I always fall asleep at the theater. So why waste my time? Money, right? So I actually just wait till it comes out. So I haven't seen it yet. So everyone's like talking about it, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, just shut the fuck up already.
Well, it's
Right?
on
So
Peacock. You can watch it for free, actually.
You got to remember they don't have Peacock.
Oh,
At least
yeah,
I
I'm
don't think so.
thinking, man, we don't get that cool stuff.
not bad. Well, you
Yeah.
know what? It's
Yeah.
actually doing you a favor because it's quite terrible.
Is it really? I'll
I
still watch it.
love 2018, and then I loved Kills. Like it just everybody shits on Kills, but I love it. You
Yeah.
know, it's just the brutality of it.
Yeah.
This one does a 180, and like I said, I won't spoil anything for you, but ooh.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I've been discussing it a lot lately. I'm like, do you think he actually dies? Like, is this really going to be? Are we finally done? Like, is this happening? So yeah,
There's no coming back from what they do. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, just like, damn. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've heard mixed reviews on it. So I'm going in with an open mind with both sides of the table. My mind's over both sides.
I tried to hit it with that season of the witch approach because like if you view part 3 season of the witch as a totally the anthology like they wanted to do. Okay, it's a very good horror movie, but everyone at the time was looking for Mike, so it pissed everybody off. So I tried to look at that this way, but even doing that, it's like my fiance, she's like, no, there's like 4 different ways for them to do a sequel. I'm like, no, there's no coming back from this shit. It's done. Not without rebooting.
No, they were actually just watching a show on like Prime and they were discussing that exact same thing. They're like, there is different ways, but like, there's like, let's get real. Like, it's too late. They're old now. We're too old for this shit, right? Yeah, no, I'll check it out though, but I'll go in with an open mind regardless. So, because it is Halloween movie still.
Now, I saw you say the other day on one of your Instagram posts that someone asked you who you related to the most out of like the current horror, and you were like Art the Clown, which is one of Hassel's favorites.
Oh no, I love him. I have only seen the movie Terrifier once because like it was so terrifying to me I could never watch it again.
Oh wow.
especially after Dawn got cut in half there. Like, I just couldn't sit there and watch it ever again. It's not. But yeah, no, I just think he is just so. I'm not afraid of clowns whatsoever. But if
I
there was
am.
exactly, but if there was a clown coming up the fucking sewer or in the dark, and it's the Terrifier, that's going to be the one that scares the shit out of me. It's just like how good he portrayed that. Like, it was too good, right? So I can't wait to see the other one. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's out yet.
It is.
But
It
I'm
is.
excited to
I'm
see
actually
the
going to watch it
Just a
this
couple
weekend.
weeks.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that
Well,
one to check that out.
it is Screambox. You can stream it on Screambox Monday, but it's actually on a couple different places now. And then it's hitting so many theaters now. It's like I think at 2,000 screens now. It's getting out there.
Now, I will say, though, that it's really weird to talk to him in person because we've had him on the show before, and he's just such a nice guy. And then you see him in that, and I'm like, no,
Yeah,
it's a completely different person.
No, for
I'm
sure.
pretty stoked. He's going to be in Atlanta in January, so I've got to make the trek up there to visit a little bit. Him and Damien both going to be there, so it's going to be a good time.
Well, since you brought that up, Hassel, about going to conventions, and I know Mandy's been going to a lot of them lately. How have they been? Have you enjoyed most of them, or?
They've been okay. I mean, I've been doing a lot of them by myself this year, so it's been different, right? Like, usually I have like a bunch of people who just go and do the stuff. So it's been different because I haven't gone since COVID, and like, it is a lot of the circuits up here are just opening back up after that time frame. So like, Fan Expo was a joke. I probably will never go back to our Fan Expo again. Not on a weekend, at least. I don't know if I posted the videos of how poorly mismanaged it was in the size and capacity and all that. So that one kind of got wrecked just because like it was too much. The Hamilton Comic Con I thought was okay. It was very quiet, as you probably remember.
It
Very
was kind of
quiet.
small. I was surprised.
It was dull. Like, even had vendors ask me who were at a different con at that time, like, how it was. And I'm like, honestly, it felt really B-rated, but it was still like just fun seeing the kids and dressing up and all that stuff. So they've been okay this year. It's just getting back into the groove of everything here is, I think, where everybody's at. And that's going to be one of the problems, I think, going forward, is just remembering that we're still in a world where we can all lick windows and all get each other sick, and 3,000 extra bucks, right? Right? Yada. They'll figure it out. But yeah, no, it's been hit or miss. I'm been invited out to a few out in the States now, so I think I might start taking people up on their offers, because I have a feeling that the con state side are way more intricate in comparison to ours. And I could see it just like people I follow on Instagram, or just, seeing news clips or whatnot. Like, it's crazy out there in comparison here. Like, Hamilton sucks. Toronto is Toronto, right? But I don't get to see the cool ones, right? Like, I want to go to New York, right? And I want to go to like San Diego, and I want to go to the big ones, right? So once I check them out, ask me that question again, and I'll give you a better answer.
Yeah, and the ones you mentioned are really good here. And then like MegaCon in Orlando is really good.
MegaCon is pretty legit. That's one that I used to love hitting every year. It was really good.
And you mentioned Fan Expo, which for Hassel, that used to be Wizard World.
Okay.
We've been to a few of those, and some of them are well run, and some of them are not. I can tell you the one in St. Louis is pretty well most of the time, but like New Orleans is just insane. It's wall to wall people, but it's New Orleans, so you kind of expect that going there anyway.
Yeah.
So do you have any more planned for the rest of the season, or are you kind of done for this year on cons?
I was going to go to Frightmare this weekend because there's a Halloween one over the weekend. However, like, I don't understand why they're doing Halloween cons at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and that's about it. So that's kind of lame. I don't think I'm going to. If I want to go to Halloween con, I want it to be at night, dark, scary, right? Like what Halloween's supposed to be. But a lot of great people are going to be there, whether it's actors, horror actors, vendors I know, other cosplayers, other social media personalities, because people can call it an influencer, but I hope not to influence shit on anybody, right? Not me, right? Maybe just a credit card bill addiction or some shit like that. But yeah, no, I think I'm going to skip it just because I have Halloween with my son on Monday. I think that's going to be way better than traveling something that I might enjoy during the daytime for Halloween, right?
Yeah, I will say that the Days of the Dead, they tour around all the U.S., but I don't know if they ever get to Canada or not. But they do a good job of day, night, both things. They got panels and whatnot, and it's a really cool one. I've been there a few times online. It's really awesome. Do you like do the autographs when you go, or do you just like to look around at the toys and see who's there?
Honestly, I just look for toys. This year is probably this year at Hamilton Comic Con is the first autograph I've ever gotten ever from anybody. Yeah, and it was from Dave Foley, Kids in the Hall, stuff like that, right? So I love him obviously from some Disney movies with my son. So I got an autograph for my son, and then just one for me because why not? I loved him in the show News Radio. Aside from that, no, I don't care for celebrities too much because they're celebrities. They don't care about me. Why do I need to care about them? Right? Like, let's get real.
Celebrities don't recognize other celebrities.
Exactly. I mean, my sparkle outshines them, so maybe that's why they can't see me. But right. But that's not. No, more for the toys, the experience. Even with my lives, a lot of people are like, why don't we see a lot of videos on stuff like that? Because I really don't care about what you're seeing in my, right? Like, I'm there for my own thing. I'll show you the pictures. If I want to share whatever, I'll share it with you. Yeah, I think it's more for the experience and be able to just be like, hey, I did something, right? So like cons, I haven't
been. While you still enjoy it, and then when it no longer becomes enjoyable or a job, it's like,
That's right. That's right. So it's kind of like Instagram, right? So no, for sure. Right.
Yeah, well, that's why you only see one of us on Instagram half the time on our page, because I hate social media and having to do all that. Then it becomes work.
Yeah, he allows me to do 80% of the heavy lifting on the social media, but he will kick in occasionally.
Yeah.
And since you brought up coming to cons in the States, MegaCon is in March or April this year. So if you want to come down to Orlando, we can all make a trip and hang out.
You can all hang out.
Sounds like an official thing.
Hassel, you look like you were fixing to ask something before I speak.
No, I'm actually good. I'm just along for the ride, bud.
So sticking with the horror theme stuff, though, I know that you're big on the Universal monsters. So what is your favorite out of that, or do you have a favorite out of them?
No, I can't say that one. I don't think I have a favorite out of, because
Really?
like, no, it's too, like, obviously I love Frankenstein, and obviously Frankenstein's monster is the big one, but like I have a love, even I watched every single one of their movies the other day because I have all the classic movies, and like watching the Wolfman, I'm like, oh man, like this is so, like, there's just so many different reasons for it, right? Like the acting back then, which, and I guess I'm just basing it on the 1930, 40 movies too, right? 1930s, 1940. I'm not even basing on anything else either. So, no, Frankenstein. I don't. No, the answer is no. No. The answer is no.
See,
I don't.
I'm going to cheat on that right there. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. You get the best of both worlds, and you even have Bela Lugosi in there as Igor. I mean, come on, you can't get much better than that right there.
Yeah.
I will say that I watched The Invisible Man for the first time, and I'm ashamed to admit this as a horror fan. I literally just watched The Invisible Man for the first time this past weekend.
Oh no.
And I was actually like, really enjoying, because like I've always been like, man, it's fucking invisible, my man, it's lame. Son of a bitch is invisible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's he going to do? But then when you get to watching, it was like, well, this is actually pretty damn good. So he went quite mad, so to speak.
No, I hear you. Like it. That's why I rewatch it a lot of times. Like there's even things where I'm like, oh shit, I didn't catch that, right? Because these aren't movies you typically just turn on the TV and they're playing, right? Like you have to go looking for them, right, to find them. But yeah, no, it's very hard to pick. Like, obviously, the bride is the least because she just looks like a nagging bitch, right? But that's just me, right? Right? But
She's there to scream, and that's it.
that's about it, right? So no, they're all good. I just really like things from like the 30s, the 40s, and 50s. It's one of the eras that if I could ever turn back time and live in, that is where I want to be, right? So I think for me, that is Universal Monsters is why, like, because it's like wishing that's all dark and creepy and scary and Jack the Ripper like and like stuff like that. But in reality, it's not. It's just like crackheads, or sorry, I'm the crackhead, right? Sorry, I'm the crackhead, and you know.
No. So Hassel, you missed the inside joke, but
Apparently.
So I don't remember what it was from, but she was like, "This person told me I had crack teeth,"
Oh,
and
wow.
it became the entire conversation of the day, just making fun of it.
They called me they said I had crackhead teeth, so I posted a picture and I was like, "Have you ever seen a crackhead before?"
In South Georgia, yes, you will.
That's right.
We refer to it down here as meth mouth.
Okay. Yeah, that works too, right?
We have a rule of thumb: if you see someone post more than 3 selfies and they're not smiling, you don't see teeth in none of them. That's not meth mouth.
Usually a reason, right?
Basically, you see that.
Right? I know I smile once a week just so that they know.
So sticking with the old school horror before we jump gears or catch it loose. So are you a Peter Vincent or Peter Cushing?
Vincent.
Oh,
I'm
man,
sorry.
there we go. There we go.
Vincent for sure. I'm like that one. I don't have Vincent for sure. Right. I think definitely a lot more Vincent in our house than anything. Right. My mom was really big. Like my mom is where it all started from. Right. So like she's really into all this horror shit. Right. Like when I was 4, she's like, "You're watching Halloween and all that stuff." And I'm like, "Why am I watching Halloween at 4 years old? What's wrong with you?"
I had that same mother because literally one of my earliest memories is putting a Christmas tree up while Creep Show was playing. And I guarantee you I was the only fucking 5-year-old in Nightmare on Elm Street 1 at the theater. Yeah. I got the hell beat out of me later that night when I had a bad dream, ironically.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. No, man. My kid watches it too. Like he's only 5, and if it's too scary, he's like, "It's too scary," and we turn it off, right? So like we know our limits, right? So no, man. That's that's that.
I actually had my fiance's nephews over here a few weeks ago, and they kept looking at my pops I got over here, and they kept seeing the Pennywise, and they kept being curious and asking. They're like, "Well, why is that clown doing that? Why?" And I got a Georgie there too, and I was like, "You want to watch something?" She left me alone for 10 minutes. She went to get a pizza, so I cut on it. We make it about up to the scene where Georgie loses his arm when she comes back out, and she literally lets me. She says, "I left you alone with them for 10 minutes, David." They were asking questions. I mean,
they were curious. You were just helping them along.
I was showing my curious Georgie who lost an arm. I mean,
Jesus. Oh my.
Yeah, don't.
And of course, the youngest one of the two, he the first thing he does is get on FaceTime with his mom. "That boy lost his arm." I was like, "Oh shit." Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't encourage you, sir.
Uncle Hassel's not good to leave your children with. Just for a side note.
No free babysitting services here, folks.
Oh, you're welcome to try. I'm just saying. I'm not responsible for however they're influenced. Probably poorly.
So I know we don't have a lot of time left because I promised I wouldn't keep you up too late because I know you don't like to be up this late necessarily, but I did want to ask you about your autism activist stuff because I know you do a lot with the society up there for autism.
Mm-hmm. So things have slowed down there a bit just because obviously I'm busy with life in general, right? So we use the services, obviously. So essentially what I try to do is give back in whichever little tiny way that I can, however I can, whether it's selling things and sending the proceeds or donating every year myself. So this year we were going to attempt to do bags and like little beanies and stuff and take all the proceeds from those sales and send it to them this year. That way it's something more we'll call it sustainable, not sustainable per se, but it'll be longer lasting than like a sticker or wrist bracelet that we were doing at one point in time. So we're going to attempt to do that. So I got a few items back from my printer to see how that went. Everything looks okay. So that was good. So I think we're going to jump forward on that again. Now with me, it's just been hard because obviously with Instagram and YouTube and work and outside, it's trying to gather everything together to get that ball rolling. And of course, just the time of year, right? Like this is a crazy time of year for everybody. We have Halloween ending. Christmas is right around the corner, right? So we're all at different speeds right now, right? So hoping to get something going there soon, but if not, it'll probably be the summer because it'll warm up. We can do other things, or it's outside activities, whether it's barbecues or whatnot. So I am talking to my son's school tomorrow about things that I can do to help them there because they do have some children there that are autistic, or, you know, so I guess are autistic would be the appropriate words. So we're going to see if there's anything I can do to, whether it's help fund them or come in and do like a community service with them so that I can use that skill or information or whatnot and kind of just whether transfer it into my life here or be able to help in that community once we're able to get into that autistic community outreach, wherever we're going from here, right? So don't know the appropriate terminology without offending people, right?
Yeah, we're in an area where you can breathe and offend people. But do you have like a website or anything for anyone who would like to maybe send in a help fund? So this venture?
Not at the moment, no. So I will give you one. Yes, there is a website. I don't have it like to spell it out for you, but yes, I will send it over to you guys if you guys want to like do whatever, throw it up there. But yeah, it's just local autism. It's like an Ontario based, so it's Autism Ontario, right? So it's the entire province, right? So it's just the local chapter. But yeah, no, I can give you guys that information, no problem, because there's different variations of how to get to this place, right? Like you have to go to this region and this. So yeah, we will let everybody know how that goes. Things have been kind of weird in that regard because we're busy trying to figure out our own shit, right? So, right.
Yeah, but as you get into it, and if you do your fundraiser and stuff, yeah, definitely let us know. We'd love to, plug it as well as support it. And you mentioned too your YouTube and stuff, and I saw you did a live on Instagram a week or so ago, maybe, and you were talking about branching out and doing some more YouTube channels and changing platforms and starting a store as well.
Yes.
Or you had an online store?
Yeah, we have some stuff. So I have like a small link on my Instagram that goes to like a very small startup store. So I've started selling some of the Funko Pops that I have posted and some other figures. There's some autism sensory toys there too, just because I figured if it's going to be under my son's name and Doodle Story Point Report, we're going to want to have some of that stuff that we use to give out or, sell to the community. It's very small. It's very in the works right now. It's not anything I'm 100% committed to. I'm committed to it, but I'm not there yet. It is something I want to actually like make bigger and all that before I start like, oh my God, right? So
you're planting the seeds for something bigger later.
That's right. So essentially like right now I'm in the inventory phase, which is crazy because I have mentioned last week I had cleared 1,000 Funko Pops, and today I had to handwrite every single one of them out, find out the value, put it into charts in Excel. So it's a lot of work than just taking a picture, right, and just posting it. Like a lot of people seem to think that that's all it is, and especially with things like Funko, which is a huge part of it right now. They fluctuate every single day in value, so it's really hard to like here's the pinpoint this price today, and then next week it'd be a different price. So right now I'm just kind of researching behind the scene, but still having a little bit of product up there to be available to people and figure it out from there. So there's that for the store. So working on that. It is live now. I'm not pumping it too much because I am doing some behind the scenes stuff, of course. YouTube, yes, I'm probably going to branch out slightly. The YouTube I created, I wanted it for my son because I just wanted him to have a face that he knew when he was watching these videos to learn how to speak and stuff like that. So he can speak pretty well. I mean, well enough that I can understand him. And I mean, if I have a pet Ewok, I can understand everything. Right? So there's
I mean, you
that.
hold conversations with this Ewok. I mean, I'm just saying.
I don't know. He might be using Google Translate for the fuck do I know, right? Like, who knows?
If he ever gets a spear and starts doing this, though, you better fucking run. I'm just saying.
But yeah, no. And then so YouTube, I was branching out because I want to do more of like toy reporting, like actual reporting, like how I go to the conventions, just toy news in general, like our latest announcements, stuff like that. I would probably still do some unboxings, but I wouldn't. It's different. Like YouTube for me now is different for my son's channel because I know it's a different audience than I want watching his channel. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make different audience than I want to be watching?
Well, you probably have some unpleasurables that view you anyways, I would imagine. So.
You're right. Whatever. And like, I don't either way, but for me, it's like, okay, this way I'll go over here. Right. And it doesn't feel so cross. Right. So, and I think that's where I stand at it now. It's like, yes, I might have 600 plus subscribers, but like, they're not subscribing for my son. Right. So, and that's, I don't want that to be his brand when he starts growing up. Right. So I want him to take over that channel and do his own thing with it, right? Like it's literally dedicated to him, right? So I'm slowly working on branching out. I've uploaded like 2 very short videos on the other account. I have filmed some more YouTube footage this week, and I'll be filming more. So I'm probably just going to throw it up on there and then start advertising it on Instagram or whatnot. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's just going to be slightly different in that regard. Plus, Instagram has been just a kick in the balls lately. Like, I have been blocked from doing lives for no apparent reason.
I was going to ask you about that.
No, dude, it was that Frodo motherfucker. I swear to God, it was that Frodo fucking piece of shit, hobbit little bastard. I'm telling you. Because there's no way that it gets blocked for 3 days just when that show is happening, because I was able to do the live the 3 days before and the 3 days after. I was like, that motherfucker did something to get me blocked because he didn't want. And here's the fucking kicker. As I'm videotaping it at the convention, he stares up at my phone to see if I'm live. I'm like, you piece of shit. Like, I knew it was him. So I'm positive it was that Frodo piece of shit. Do not
Also,
like
sounds
that.
like next time you're in Canada, you're going to have to do a former lynch mob.
So I will take an aside here if Mandy's all right with it for a minute. So we were in. So I was in Hamilton because I had to be in Canada anyway. So we went to the con, and this is how I found out about Frodo Bitchins, as I call him. Is that he walks so like the whole day he's staring like menacingly. And then at some point when we're just walking around, he walks by and I don't even, I was quite a little ways behind because I'm slow. But I don't know, I think he said hello to you or something, but then he walked by to me and he gave me like the stink eye and shot a nod up at me. And I'm like, dude, you don't even come up past my elbow.
He's a little fella.
Yes. And I was like, what are you messing with me for? Just because I was hanging out with your imaginary friend?
No, because you're hanging out with his competition. Because my sparkled him that day.
See, that's why I wish I was there, because I'm 6'4". I love to pick little people out up. Just go,
See, we were thinking of you though, Hassel. I was like, yo. Oh yeah, that was a fun day though. It was good. That day I learned who my true haters were. So we're good.
Yeah, I won't forget that. Hassel, I'll tell you the better part of the story when we're off air. how he ended up being
half of the story.
How he ended up being called Frodo.
Oh, because I was wearing high heel shoes and I was looking down at him like, look at this, you little hobbit fuck. That's how he got. Well, you got to tell him off air. I just said it.
Because I was trying to save you from more.
Yeah, don't hide shit from me. I don't sugarcoat shit and I don't hide from nobody. So.
We have an honorary nerdy Manroom member.
Yeah, it was. But dude, I lost it. I was rolling.
It's funny. It's funny shit. And then the live is the kicker because I called him out on the live, and that's when I got banned because my live got banned. I was like, oh, I don't know why he's saying hi to me for, a little shit.
Well, my personal Facebook has been banned a few times. I haven't got the ban on our page yet, so we're crossing fingers.
Yeah, you can get banned for anything these days. Like I keep getting notifications or alerts from Instagram, which I'll cut you as a joke. And I'm like, the fuck? Right? Like, oh no, you said about, I'm like, what? Right? Like, it's a joke.
Wow.
So yeah, you got even the things you say nowadays. I'm on, I think, my 5th strike with Instagram, and it's like, holy shit, like I'm not even saying anything. Right? Like so yeah, just all you gotta do is talk.
You get in trouble every day for boobs and teeth.
Sometimes it's my toys. Sometimes people just don't like the toys. They're like, oh, it's not good enough. And I'm like, well, nobody
Where
fucking
do they get
asked
these
you.
wonderful toys?
I don't want to know because I gotta do a lot of things for the crack in the toys.
Oh man. I can't even say anything else now.
That happens a lot. I leave people speechless because they're like, what the fuck did she just say?
Oh no, you fit right in here because we say a lot. I'm a little more reserved. Hassel, however, no.
I have no filter. Monster knows this from the 30 years he's known me. So
I don't have one either. It just depends on. I try to have one, but I have that southern thing where I'll tell you real quick, bless your heart, and that might mean 30 different things. But yeah.
That's the Marie coming out of you.
Yeah, my grandmother could do that really well.
Ooh, could she? Could she? Ooh.
She could talk so bad to you and never use a single curse word. And you left feeling like that's the worst I've ever been talked to in my life.
I have walked in there before. She's dressing someone down, and they look at me and say, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" I'm doing fine, Miss Marie. Not as better than him, but hey. So yeah.
Oh, but with that, we have had you here for almost an hour now, and I promised you we wouldn't keep you that long. So, but before you go, if you want to plug your different channels and where, I know we do it anyway, but if you want to share also where everybody can find you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be Instagram. Boom. Kushiemama, Doodles Toy Reports. Boom. I'm not plugging the other channels yet because they're not ready yet, right? So, but yeah, no, Kushiemama on Instagram. Obviously, Doodles Report on YouTube is still up and running. Soon I'll have everything else going. Of course, I started a new toy photography page, but we don't really want to plug that too much today, right? Because that is a mixture. So yeah, things will change. But for now, just find me on those 2 pages, right? So YouTube or Instagram.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate you coming on, and hopefully you'll come back and see us again. You know the Ewok is going to ask you at some point again anyway, so
probably in 5 minutes when we're done this conversation.
That son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Damn it.
Oof, we're all in trouble then.
Oh shit.
But with that, we thank you for coming, and we appreciate it. And again, we would love to have you back another time.
Of course. All right.
Thank you.
Hopefully you enjoyed that interview with Mandy, and we had a blast doing it. She is quite entertaining, and we had a lot of fun talking about different collectible things and toy photography and just in general what's going on with her. With that, we decided this week, because it was our 1 year anniversary, instead of doing our nerd out, we're going to do shout outs. We had several of our friends do some pre-recorded shout outs for us to celebrate our 1 year anniversary with us. And now we're going to take you to watch some of those, and we'll be back again after that.
What's up, Nerdy Manroom Show? Congratulations on 1 year of podcasting, the whole shebang, YouTube show, all that good stuff. It's August from Strange Films. You had me on the show a while back, and it was a really fun time. You guys put out a lot of good content. You have a lot of great guests on the show and everything. You're fun, you're funny. Keep it up. I'm really proud of you guys. Hope to be on the show again. And yeah, 1 year.
Hi Hi y'all, Fox here of Foxfoot Crafts, tuning in to wish Hassel and Monster a happy 1-year anniversary on their podcast, the Nerdy Manroom Show. They're sponsored by The Zone Collectibles and More in downtown Tifton, and they cover a whole wide variety of things. And as one of their friends, I just kind of wanted to pop in as part of the nerd group and say happy 1-year anniversary.
Hassel, Monster, Daniel Garcia here. Just wanted to wish you guys a happy 1-year anniversary. I'm representing your shirt today. Doing a little bit of plug. My cat's meowing in the background, and there she goes. Just walked in the door from a long trip, man, but I wanted to say congrats. Love you guys both. You guys are amazing. Here's to another full year of some amazing Nerdy Manroom Show content. Look for our book to be delivered here real soon. Shipping's beginning in the next week or so. And then we got some other stuff coming out for Dang Comics and Cyber Ronin. So congrats, man. And here's another full year of you guys being successful. And love you both. Take care.
Hey guys, it's Big Rob from Big Rob's House of Entertainment and No Chinese Food. Just wanted to wish a happy anniversary to the Nerdy Manroom Show with Hassel and Monster. It's been a great ride for the last year, you guys. I've really enjoyed the show and really enjoyed being one of your frequent guest hosts. Hopefully I haven't scared off too many of your subscribers. Here's to a great year and hopefully many more great years. Thanks, guys.
I'm Kim. I'm Kevin, and we are the Zone Collectibles and More, as well as Dragon Dye, the GM Dojo. We're here today to wish both Hassel and Monster a happy 1-year anniversary on their awesome podcast, The Nerdy Manroom Show. We are proud to be a sponsor of this podcast, and we wish them many more years to come. And guys, we just want you to know, we will be with you along for the ride as long as you'll have us. Guys, have a great day.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone who came on to give us a shout out. We really do appreciate it. It's been a heck of an entertaining 1 year so far. It's gone by really fast. I didn't really even realize it. Actually, I don't think we realized it at all until I hit you up because I was going out of town. I was like, hey, it's our 1-year anniversary on this one. Let's see if we can get
it literally snuck up on me for a fact. You pointed it out, and I was like, holy shit, it is our 1 year, isn't it? And then we started scrambling trying to, to put this together.
Honestly, what reminded me was I got an email notification that, hey, the software that we use when we're recording and editing and stuff, it's like, hey, your 1-year subscription is coming around. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
So it did sneak up on both of us, but I will say we are incredibly humbled and grateful for you guys that tune in to us each week. And I know we let you down sometimes, and it's not weekly as it should be, but we do appreciate the hell out of you guys. All the guys and gals that have come on and been a guest on the show, we love and thank you very much. We can't appreciate you enough. Zone Collectibles, obviously, it's just, there's too many to thank, but we are very appreciative.
And there are, and we may miss some, but I do want to do that. Usually when we get ready to close out the show, before we close, we give our shout outs to all of our friends. But let's take a moment and say first, thank you to all the fans who have come along with us and enjoyed and watched our material and continue to support us. But also thank you to all of our friends. And when I try to remember everybody who did a video for us, if I missed anyone, I will apologize up front. But I know Daniel Garcia, who you can find on his page at D Garcia Comics on Instagram or on Facebook at Daniel Garcia. Awesome writer of Cyber Ronin, as well as some other books that's coming out. But thank you to him. Thank you to Big Rob, who came on and gave us a shout out and who recently did an unboxing video. So if you didn't catch that, hop over to his channel and watch him unbox the new Force Effects lightsaber. I think it was Ray's, right? It was Ray's lightsaber.
Yeah, Ray's at Big Rob's toy review and No Chinese Food. I'm gonna let down by the No Chinese Food, Rob.
Yeah, me too. Also, check out Mr. August Aguilar from Strange Film Studios. I know he popped in and gave us a shout out, and he's got a great new movie out. And I don't want to give away
kill.
I don't want to give away any spoilers.
Well, he actually told me we can review it a little bit. It was a fun little watch. I enjoyed it, and I will say when you do watch it, White Lavender Jones will make your fucking day.
The most electric man in entertainment.
Yes,
The,
that part
the
right
most
there
electric
got me.
3 words in entertainment, or whatever it was he said. It tickled me. He was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a really fun watch. I enjoyed that a lot. I don't want to give away any spoilers by any means, but it was hilarious. It was serious when it needed to be, and it was really funny when it didn't have to be serious. And I'm not as big a horror fan as you are, Hassel. Everybody knows that, but I so enjoyed the comedy in this. It had me rolling the entire time.
It had a good balance. It had a good balance. It had a great job as always. And like Strange Film Studios, they just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. And we also want to make sure, along with those that we've already mentioned, Foxfoot Crafts for coming on and giving us a shout out. Our sponsor, the Zone Collectibles. One of our friends, a content creator who was going to try and be on the show with us today, but wasn't able to, Mr. Chris Daly, host of Fueled by Weird podcast. He had some personal stuff going on, so he couldn't join us. But we also want to give him a shout out and thank him for supporting us as well, because he's always given us plenty of props on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else. But check out his podcast if you get a chance. It's Fueled by Weird. It's covers all things weird and nerdy, from comic and novel hauls to wrestling and just any kind of reviews. Same genre that we're in, right? And it's very enjoyable to check out some of his stuff. And then also to our friend who was able to join us today, and it was wasn't a last minute plan, but she was gracious enough to come on with us with just very little planning on our part. Miss Mandy Lynn, a.k.a. Kushiemama, who you can find on Instagram at Kushiemama, or on Doodle's Toy Report on YouTube. And with that, I think I called everybody, but if I missed anyone, I do apologize. It was a lot of last minute us getting stuff together, so I might have missed someone. But thank you to everyone who did contribute.
We really do appreciate you guys. It's your support has been humbling.
Yes. And remember, check out our sponsor, The Zone Collectibles, for all your nerdy needs. You can find them on the internet at thezonecollectibles@gmail.com, on Facebook at The Zone Collectibles, or in their store at 305 Main Street, Tifton, Georgia. Help them support the cause of bringing unity through community. Fandoms unite. And with that, I think we have a giveaway this week from The Zone Collectibles.
We do. For the 1 year, and it's,
It's Halloween season. Halloween's this weekend. We're recording on Thursday night, the 27th. Halloween's on Monday. By the time this comes out, it will be like a day or two before Halloween.
So I felt like no better way to celebrate our 1 year, because I'm a monster buff, you are the monster, and it's the monster season, than to celebrate with the Universal Monsters. So we have Dracula, the Wolfman, Frankenstein, the Mummy, and the Invisible Man. All of the original Universal Monsters. I'm sorry, somewhere I have the Gill Man. If I can find him, I will get him in time. But David Gray, you are a winner this week. You are sharing our page left and right, and we truly appreciate it. You are a winner this week.
With that, let's not forget, I don't know that we'll make it to our full goal before Halloween, because that is coming pretty soon. So maybe we will do a different competition or a different drawing later on for the H4 Michael Myers mask. Is that the right number? Yes.
Yeah, the 250 is our goal for the H4 Michael Myers mask. Unfortunately, we seem to be a bit short. So, guys, we really need you guys' help. Like, subscribe, share. We only got a few days left. Next Tuesday is approaching, or next Monday is approaching very, very fast, but we will record again next Tuesday, and hopefully we have a huge surprise guest for you guys, and I would love for him to be able to announce the winner of the H4 mask. If not, I will get with Kev at the Zone, and we'll have a backup plan.
That sounds like a plan. And with that, just remember to enter the small giveaways or this big one. All you have to do is comment, like, subscribe, share on any of our social media, and Hassel's going to tell you where to find all those at.
You can find us on Twitter at NerdyMR Show. You can find us on Facebook at Hassel Hutchison. You can find us at Instagram at The Nerdy Manroom Show. And for God's sake, go to YouTube, The Nerdy Manroom Show.
And with that, I think that brings us to a close today. We want to once again thank Mandy Lynn for coming on and doing the interview with us, as well as all of our friends who came in and gave us a shout out. And join us here next time. So hopefully we have a surprise guest. We're still working out some details on that, but we are trying to get that lined up. And until then, live nerdy, and thank you for enjoying this anniversary with us.